Welcome to Alaska EdVenture, hosted by Dr. Meinert, Superintendent of the Fairbanks North Starborough School District. This award-winning podcast is your gateway to the heart of Alaska's educational landscape. In each episode, we'll explore the unique perspectives of guests who are shaping education in the last frontier. Join us on Alaska EdVenture as we share the insights and inspirations found in Alaska's K-12 classrooms.
Welcome back to the Alaska EdVenture podcast with Dr. Luke Meinert. I'm the superintendent here in the Fairbanks North Starborough School District. And today I'm very honored to have a couple of our colonels here locally and one of our military liaisons to talk about the month of the military child and how to support military children within our school district and in our community. Our school district has over 25% of military connected students. It fluctuates a little bit, but a high percentage of our students and families are military connected. And two of our colonels sit on our school board as military advisors. And so I'd love for them to introduce themselves along with Ms. Farris, and then we'll dive into the content for today. So Colonel Campbell, if you could introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Well, first, thanks for having us on today, and thanks for the opportunity to highlight the Military Month of the Child and our military-connected students. So Colonel John Campbell, U.S. Army Garrison Alaska commander, and so that encompasses Fort Greely as well as some services for families down at J-Bear, but we're stationed on Fort Wainwright here in Fairbanks.
Great, thank you.
Hello, I'm Janet Farris, the Fort Wainwright School Liaison Officer.
And I'm Colonel Tim Foster. I'm the 354th Mission Support Group Commander at Eielson Air Force Base. Glad to be here, and thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for being here, and we're going to hop right into it. So speaking of the month of the military child, what does the month of the military child mean, and why is it important to recognize military-connected students in our schools and our community?
I'll jump in first, if Tim, if you want, and I'll let you follow up. But so this is a big opportunity for our families, and so while our kids aren't in the uniform per se, they serve right alongside of us, and so when you talk about connective tissue to the community, those kids and those families are what really connects the community from service of the soldier to the children that are out in the community, working with the teachers, working with the school district, and learning from the community as well. So it's really to bring awareness to some of the opportunities and challenges that our families bring the community. It's also an opportunity to connect the community and last, really tell stories about what our children go through, what our families go through. And that's really where we learn, is through storytelling. So a great opportunity to highlight our children, but really connect the community into what the military does and what our kids go through.
Absolutely.
No, I think that's perfect. I'm just going to add a little bit more to the focus on our children. A lot of our military children, they arrive here with a PCS or a permanent change of station for their parents that brought them to this community. And those children, sometimes they don't get a vote. Mm-hmm. They go with the families, they arrive. So there's a huge pressure and stressor on the children as they transition into these different communities. So I think it's important to pause and focus on that and appreciate that, so that we can let them know that there is a community that is also paying attention to that, so that they can provide the support that they need, and so that they can connect and make sure that the community understands and the military connected student understands as well. So
absolutely. Yeah, we're so blessed to have so many military-connected students in our schools. It's really amazing the different experiences that they have had around the world, and it really creates a nice diversity within our schools because of the experiences that they bring. A lot of Alaskan students haven't had the opportunity to travel internationally or maybe across the United States, and to hear from somebody that's lived somewhere else and has different experiences definitely brings a richness to our community. So I'd love to dive into what are some unique strengths and experiences that military-connected students bring to our schools?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I'll just use me as an example, but this is something that can be replicated across our formations. So I'm married with one child, and my son Jackson, has moved with us and been in 7 different schools in his young school life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 7 different moves, 7 different new schools, 7 new groups of friends. And some people may look at that as a negative. What you'll find is a large majority of our students, they embrace that. And what it does, it allows them to go to the next school and bring a viewpoint, an experience, resiliency that they've learned by moving to these different schools. And it just gives them a different perspective. It also lets them connect rather quickly to the new schools, the new students. And they're able to bring cultures that they've experienced from different parts of, say, the lower 48, or in our case, where we've spent almost 16, 17 years living abroad, different cultures from different countries that we've lived in, and he's able to bring those and share those with his new group of friends. So I just think it's made them really resilient and adaptable to these new locations. So I see it as a strength. They're not it's not a blanket statement.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that do struggle with having to go to a new location because they've invested so much time in some of these places that they were at and the groups of friends that they now have to say goodbye to. And so some people do struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
No, and Tim, always great answers. So it's hard to follow on him, but he hit on a couple things there. One is the kids are a bridge to the community. So when those military connected kids go to school, they have a little bit of the language of the military within them. They're coming from a family of service. The values, they speak to that in a lot of regards. And there are challenges. Tim hit it on the head, but those kids are probably some of our best recruiters in a lot of cases. Like, hey, what does your family do? And I've moved 7 times, and sense of adventure and those type things. So they bring that sense of experience. They bring a different perspective, and it's really fun to watch those kids when they connect, when they talk to and find new friends, and how fast they grow in a community. That their resiliency. You talk 7 times, those kids and their ability to adapt. It's pretty amazing to watch when they hit ground, and, kids are coming over to the house like that day, like, who's this kid? And they're building friends, they're running around the neighborhood. What class are you in? What school are you going to? It's a lot of fun to watch, but bridging that community, bridging the military to the, whatever local community you're at, it's always fun to watch. But Tim hit it on the head there. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting. I was over at Arctic Light Elementary the other day, and I was talking to the students, and we were talking about what their families or parents did in the Army. And I think people lose sight of like all the different jobs and roles that are available for our service members, and having students in our schools share like, hey, if you're in the service, you can do this, things that kids might not have ever even thought about. And then as we get into the high school realm, and one of the cool things out at Eielson is high school internships and the availability to see all the different roles that are available if they want to pursue a career in the military.
As the school liaison officer, I have the privilege of connecting the military with the schools. And I always look forward to having our military present their careers to the students. And the students get so excited. They've never thought about making a career in the military until they realize that what they can do in the military, they can do in their private lives too. And that gives them a different perspective of what's available for them.
Yeah, you have everything from medical to lawyers to people flying drones now, video games. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty impressive what the span of kids and what opportunities they have in the military. I mean, they can even be in the Air Force, which is great. So it's good.
I love that. I hope there'll be a few more jabs throughout the podcast. We'll tally them up. Colonel Campbell in the lead.
Yeah.
Check.
Janet, I'm curious. We've talked about some of the strengths that military children bring to our communities, but what are some of those challenges that they bring with them? And you work directly with students and families a lot of times. What are the ways that our schools are trying to help in those transitions and making sure that our students and families feel supported?
I think one of the things that we have to be aware of is that their adaptivity is so different than the rest of the kids. If you think about it, as Colonel Foster has mentioned, that these kids are moving every 2 to 3 years. We have a third grader in our school district right now that has moved every single year of his life.
Wow.
So adapting is so very important. And one of the things that the schools do so well is having transition centers, helping the children to transition into the new classroom, to the new school, which is extremely important to build that youth sponsorship. As I like to always tell the military, as they have sponsors when they move from duty station to duty station, our kids can have that too, by having somebody in their grade or in their class that can be their sponsor to welcome them into the school or into the class and help them to adapt as it needs to be. Because we forget, I want you to, as I tell adults, think about it if you were moving every 2 to 3 years. And sometimes you get to bring your stuff and sometimes you got to wait. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to, mom or dad goes a different direction and you're on your own with another parent. It takes strength to get through that.
Mm-hmm. And it's an opportunity to highlight the teachers in the community. You do this such a good job every other week at the school board meeting, highlighting the great teachers in the community. But using military terms, that is the front line for our kids. Mm-hmm. Those amazing teachers, the counselors. That transition is readiness for the Army. When that family moves in and those kids go to school and they meet those teachers, that is readiness. If that kid, isn't able to connect and he's bringing problems home and he or she is bringing problems home and they're frustrated, that puts a strain on the family and it can cause a lot of friction. Mm-hmm. But the teachers in the community, the ones you're highlighting every other week at the school board in the stories that they tell, there's some phenomenal teachers out there doing a great job bringing that connection in for our families, ensuring that transition that Janet talked about is going smooth, and really helping the readiness for our formations in building that strength and resiliency in the connection with the community to allow our soldiers and our families to go execute what they need on a daily basis. So I just want to say thanks to the teachers that are helping what Janet just talked about, the counselors that are doing a phenomenal job building that connection.
Yeah, I was going to also add that for your listeners that we have 2 school liaison officers. Yep. We have one that services Fort Wainwright. We also have one that services Eielson Air Force Base. And they make those connections so early in the process with the inbound families as they're coming, so they start to get them connected as early as possible so they can kind of reduce some of the stressors of moving to a new area, because a lot of families will PCS or move to a new community. And that's usually one of the things that's on their front of their mind is, where's my child going to go to school? How is the school? So they get that early connection and they can start to reduce some of that stress, because this is a very difficult lifestyle, being in the military and having to move and go do the things that we do. And we try to reduce those stressors to our families by making sure these things are taken care of so they don't have to worry about those things, because there is a ton of stress when it comes to moving. So if you can reduce that, and that's what our SLOs, our school liaison officers do, it just makes it easier for the transition.
Absolutely.
Many are not aware that school liaisons, we're connected not only duty station to duty station, but even military branch to military branch. So we are there to help that transition. As soon as we know, we're connecting them with the next school district, with other SLOs, so that that transition and that goes as smoothly as possible, which helps with that adapting as they go along.
Yeah, and we really appreciate your service on our side. I mean, you're that bridge oftentimes between my office and the colonel's office, and kind of giving us a heads up at times and us giving you a heads up at times to make sure that that partnership is seamless and we're working through any challenges that are coming up throughout the processes. So April is Month of the Military Child in Fairbanks, and I've said this on the podcast before, but Fairbanks has the most Purple Star schools in the state. And Janice, curious if you could talk about what the Purple Star School designation is and maybe some of the events that are coming up this month.
I would love to speak about that. So Purple Star School designation means we have schools that go above and beyond to support our military-connected students. And so we discuss some of those reasons why today, and that carries over into their entire life and entire school year, to know that it is comforting to these families to know that they will have the support of their school when they get here. We are in the age of the internet. These families will go on the school district website, the school websites, and when they see that purple star on that site, they are comforted knowing that they will get the support that they are needed to help their kids to be as successful as possible in school. So not every school is awarded that. There's certain criteria you must meet, such as when I mentioned about transitioning in those transition centers and being youth sponsorship, along with other resources that are available. The list goes on. And we are very fortunate here in Alaska. The majority of our Purple Star schools are right here in this school district. So on April 17th, we will have our annual Alaska Designation Award ceremony, where we will be recognizing over 27 schools throughout Alaska who are either initially getting their Purple Star or renewing, because it's only good for 3 years. We want to make sure the schools are holding up their qualifications to earn that star. It is this year, we take turns sharing where this ceremony will be. This year, it's right where it belongs, in the Fairbanks area at Lathrop High School from 0900 to 0930. We will recognize all those schools. We have some great performances from the students. Our colonels will be helping presenting the awards. It will be a great day. And then after that, those schools who are coming from outside the borough will have a chance, thank you, Dr. Meinert, to tour some of our great schools and see what makes Fairbanks so great with our school district.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that robust overview.
Absolutely. Anytime.
And we're super excited to have our visitors check out our schools, see how we support our military-connected students, those transition centers, and then hopefully learn a little bit from them as well. I mean, it's always interesting to hear how other schools, communities, and districts are supporting their military-connected students, because there's always room for improvement. Curious from the colonels, why is it so important to have a strong school district and schools for our students and families?
Giving that one to me first.
Yep.
I appreciate it. It's a great question, and we talked a little bit about it already. But the kids are that bridging with the community, and so the things that you've brought to the table at the school district, the discussions we've had. Building that trust with our families, with our schools, to ensure that they're going to get a quality education, they're going to transition quickly, and they're going to succeed in their education, in growth. All those things are why that is important. But there's services that go along with that, and there's an education, not just with the military, but also with the school district on, having MFLACs inside of every school where, a family, a military-connected child can go seek counseling with a military life family counselor, an MFLAC. There's also services that are available to them through Army Community Services. The Air Force has a very similar program, but there's services that the individual, the child can receive, and as well as the family to help them transition. But the relationship between the school district, the relationship between the military, that trust in being able to help those families transition, it's really one of the bigger challenges we have in the military is moving from installation to installation, at which the speed in which some families are doing it. Some are able to stay a little longer, but there are a lot of families that are going through these challenges bringing opportunities to the community, but building awareness on what's available to them and making sure that both sides, the school district as well as the uniform and families, understand what capabilities are out there to support them. It is a shared responsibility between the two of them, and the connection that we have with you and the school district, that shared responsibility that our kids are going to be taken care of, and that we're also doing our part is really what bridges that. And so it's a great question. I think I tap danced all over it, and I'm going to let Tim clean it up over here.
I'm just going
to
pile on just a little bit more. It was mentioned earlier about the readiness piece for the military member, whether it's the mom or the dad or whoever's serving and wearing the cloth of our nation. It comes down to if the school district and that ecosystem is optimized and it's taking care of our students, that means that's good. We can now focus on why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing, which is readiness, to make sure that we're ready to do our jobs and do the missions that both installations have. So I would just add the readiness piece to what was already mentioned. If that's not taken care of and we have some disruptions, now am I focused on readiness or am I focused on my family? So that's what I believe is also goes down to.
Absolutely. So as we're thinking about wrapping up the podcast, both of you have made it through some Alaskan winters. This winter in the interior this year was pretty epic with some near record snowfalls. I think we're getting close to setting a record for cold temps. I don't know if
1904, right?
1904.
That's
for
what somebody
amount of
out
days
there is saying is
under freezing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because we're both previous Alaska assignments.
Yep.
I was down in J-Bear in the Anchorage area, and then I'm up here for this assignment in two different Alaskas, two different experiences.
Very much so.
So yes,
people joke when you come to Fairbanks now you've come to the real Alaska.
Yeah.
So
Welcome to Alaska.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's impressive that both of you had stints in Alaska and that you either chose to come back, or that you made it back, but you've certainly been successful in your career and weathering the winters. And curious what you would tell families that are transitioning up to Fairbanks, not only about the weather, but like how can they thrive as a family when they hit the ground here in Fairbanks?
No, that is a great question. I'll tee it up first, but fourth time in Alaska, 2 down at J-Bear, which kind of counts, I think, as we just discussed. And second time
half
up
a
here.
point, I think.
That's right. I get 1 credit for that, being half a point each. But and what's kept me coming back to Alaska is the people. Alaskans are just different, extremely resilient, but they take care of each other, and it's just a different community. The environment we love it. A lot of people shy away from that and don't understand it, but when you get up here, I love training in it. I love being out in it. It connects you. It really pushes you together as a community. It is challenging at times. I won't deny that. But it also builds connection because everybody's going through it together. They're solving problems, learning how the environment changes metal compounds in the winter at -40.
Yes.
But how do you solve this problem? And how do you work through this? And through that, the community, it just sticks together better. And so everybody's helping each other out, and it's just a lot of fun being out in the environment, learning something new, seeing what my opinion, the environment makes you better, because it pushes your limits on things you didn't know you could do at times. And so coming up here, being around the people, being in the environment, seeing different things between dog sled teams and the Aurora, and then just how kids operate, down to -20. They're going outside playing at recess.
Absolutely, yeah. We have outside recess all winter long, unless it dips below -20.
I mean, those kids will have stories for years to tell about when they grew up and their friends and playing outside, and you're making family memories. And so there's throughout my aging myself 2 decades up in Alaska. Man, I have so many awesome memories of this place. And now my kid has those memories. My family has those memories as well. So it's a great family place. It's a great place for community. And it's a great assignment for those that come up here. But the transition and what the school district does and what we try to do at our level to help that be as best as possible so they can get out and enjoy. And our motto at U.S. Army Garrison Alaska is thrive in the last frontier. Mm-hmm. So getting them through that transition to where they understand how to operate and then really thrive and get out and do all those fun things, from skiing to golfing at 2 a.m. because the sun's still up in the summer. But all those fun things and really thriving in Alaska. So that's really what keeps me coming back. And I get to work with an amazing SLO that really helps out our community and our parents and our families. So proud to get to work with Janet, our great employees at U.S. Army Garrison Alaska. That's what keeps me coming back.
So at Eielson, our official motto is valor in combat. Mm-hmm. But our other motto is ready to go with 50 below.
That's awesome.
This winter, we actually had to prove that.
Put that to the test.
We put it to the test. So my wife and I are both Floridians. We're from Florida, and the first time I got a sign up here was back in 2012, and she was kind of wide-eyed. She's like, "What are we getting into?" I'm like, "It's Christmas land. It's going to be beautiful."
It's Narnia.
And I sold her, and we came to J Bear Anchorage, and we fell in love with Alaska then and became, residents back in 2012. Came back up in Eielson to the real Alaska. Another amazing experience. They're both great. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I've been in both. He's been in both. They both have their perks, and they both have some things that are like, ooh, that's a little different. Yep. The winters are completely different in both. I think the easy thing for telling a lot of folks when they come up here is it's cold. Mm-hmm. Have the gear. Mm-hmm. And I think that's easy. The part where I spend a lot of time with people, family, young airmen, is you cannot just stay inside. Mm-hmm. You have to be active. It may be -20. Your kids are out playing at school at recess at -20. So when you get home, they're going to want to be outside. So get outside and be active and appreciate things that you probably won't ever experience again because I get a lot of young airmen. I don't know what it is with the Air Force. It's like we send a lot of our young folks that are from Texas, first assignment, Fairbanks, Alaska. And I see where are you from? I'm from Texas. I'm like, you're like the 15th person. You should start a support group. And then you guys can all make it through this together. But when I see them on the other side of winter, they actually, hey, it wasn't that bad. Oh, it wasn't that bad. Some are like, it was bad. It was bad. So I'm like, well, you might want to come to terms with it because you got 2 more years to get through this. So I think this place is unique. It has an experience that a lot of our young folks will never see again unless they choose to be back here. Case in point right here. We fell in love with the place. My son went to elementary school here back in 2012 to 15 at Ravenwood down in Eagle River. And they used to take them out like 3 days and teach them how to survive in the snow and how to build quinzies and how to pick out avalanche things and survive in winter, to include their parents who were from Florida. So it's a great experience. I tell them to embrace it, go out and have a great time and appreciate this community and this school district. It's been awesome. So I see a lot of people having an amazing opportunity here.
Yeah, awesome. And I think you both do a great job. I've seen some vast improvements, I feel like, over the last couple of years of different activities and things that you're offering your military-connected families to try to get them involved and active. And we certainly feel that in the schools when families are happy and thriving, students come into our school communities thriving as well.
Yeah.
No, that's all Janet and her hard work. So
I wish I could take all the credit, but without great leadership from all 3 of you and other leaders, it wouldn't be possible.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring it to a close then, unless there's anything else that you want to touch on before we break for today.
No, I know I'll let Tim talk, but thank you for the opportunity to highlight our families again. Thank you for the opportunity to talk kind of some of the programs and services that are available to our families. We're getting ready to start PCS season. That means we're going to start a lot more transitions here in a couple of months. So we're going to have a lot of families moving in and out. So it's a great time to talk about what our military-connected families in the school district have up here in the interior. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for the opportunity to talk today and kind of share some of that. And then I'd highlight, thanks, Janet, for what she does to help U.S. Army Garrison, Alaska every day. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I agree. I thank you for the opportunity to be here to talk about our students. They're definitely have a lot of benefits from this program. I can tell you, as long as this program's been around, I was a military dependent. I'm a third generation military member. My father was in the military, so I can remember these very similar programs going back to the 80s. So
I feel you there.
So anyway, no, I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity to come and speak about our families.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your service to our country, your service to our community. I know it's a big ask every other Tuesday night to have you sit on the dais with us, but your ability to join in conversations and debate on things that are going to impact our students in our school district is invaluable. So thank you for doing that. And one more thank you for joining the show today. I had never had the honor to have two colonels on the show as well as Janet, and this has been a fun experience, and I know our viewers are going to appreciate it a lot. So
just make us look good.
All right. Josh will do his best. We have one of the best editors in the country right here. So
that's awesome.
This is another edition of the Alaska EdVenture podcast, and we'll catch you next time.